Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Mahalia Joseph-Wharton. This is TTT News. It's time for the headlines. Police Commissioner tells parents take charge of their children as a 14-year-old is arrested for gun possession. MSJ Youth and Rastafari Movement call on government to discontinue arrests for small amounts of marijuana possession. Best Village Association plead for outstanding monies for their cultural groups. And in sport, Akil Duke wins Tranquility Open Tennis Tournament. A 14-year-old boy has been arrested for possession of firearms and ammunition. During an anti-crime exercise in the Western Division on Saturday night, officers of the Western Division Task Force, while patrolling along Rodney Street, Carenage, had cause to stop and search the 14-year-old of Fitzallen Street, Point Cumana, Carenage. They found and seized one Glock pistol loaded with 12 rounds of .9mm ammunition. In another incident, while officers were patrolling along Gokul Street, Dago-Martin, they had cause to stop and search a 23-year-old man of Gokul Street, Dago-Martin. The officers found and seized a transparent plastic packet containing 274 grams of marijuana. Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith is urging parents to take more responsibility when it comes to raising their children. He said the younger generation is involved in criminal activities at a much earlier age. The top cop made reference to a 14-year-old boy who was held with a gun in the Carenage area. Marie Hull reports.
Last night there was an operation by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. A 14-year-old was held with a Glock firearm in Carenage. And that is typical of what I'm speaking about, a 14-year-old.
Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith recapping a police raid last evening. Addressing a breakfast meeting with members of the Carenage Police Youth Club and residents of the area, Mr. Griffith scolded parents for not rectifying their bad behavior.
The reason he had that firearm was to commit a crime. Had he drawn that firearm, gone into somewhere, and the police shot him, the first thing you would have heard is the irresponsible parents, the irresponsible friends, neighbors rushing to defend their son and say it was the police. The police drew and killed him in cold blood.
One of the concerns raised in the meeting was the gang-related activities in the area. The Commissioner of Police said the youth clubs can only do so much and the onus is on the parents to set better examples.
So yes, we have police youth clubs, but maybe we need police parent clubs or adults to try to train them. And this is what I ask for you all. Yes, we spend a lot of time to try to deal with young persons. But it is so difficult for you all to try to assist young persons when that same young person, after you speak to them, you bring them here in the youth club, you counsel them, and then they go home to have a parent virtually telling them something just the opposite.
Commissioner Griffith also chastised the business community for allowing teenagers to consume alcohol.
But alcohol is being sold to them, cigarettes being sold to them. They go to all-inclusive fetes where it is alcohol is going to be handed over to them. They've been in all-inclusive carnival bands and persons will be given it to them and costumes will be sold. And all of that shows it. And people will say, listen, I'm being too stringent. That is not all of it. It's these little things in the broken window theory that will lead to something bigger. And person saying to myself, look, I'm a business, I could get a fix-up, but you are slowly eroding the life of that young person.
Commissioner Gary Griffith reminded the audience about the TTPS's programs Street Talk and the Commissioner's Cup, aimed at encouraging positive mindset and instilling stronger values in the youth. Marie Hull, TTT News.
Members of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service are seeking the public's assistance in locating 16-year-old Kisara Watson. Kisara was last seen leaving her 3rd Avenue Barataria home on Friday, 29th March. She was reported missing to the Mova Police Station. Kisara is 5 feet 5 inches tall, medium build, dark brown complexion, afro hairstyle. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Kisara Watson is asked to contact the nearest police station. And the TTPS is also seeking the urgent assistance of the public in locating 44-year-old Gerard Joseph. Gerard was last seen leaving his Simeon Valley Road, St. Anne's home on Tuesday, 26 March 2019, wearing an orange and red Real Madrid jersey, dark blue three-quarter pants, and red and white Jordan sneakers. Gerard is of brown complexion, slim built, 5 feet 8 inches tall, brown eyes and a short beard. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Gerard Joseph is asked to contact the police at any police station or call 800-TIPS. To some other news now. President of the Trinidad and Tobago Registered Nurses Association, E.D. Stewart, is calling on the government to ensure the Port of Spain General Hospital would be up and running following the fire incident that took place at the radiology department on Friday. Speaking to TTT News, Mr. Stewart commended the staff for their swift action in removing the patients. He, however, raised concern over the issue of overcrowding on some wards.
Port of Spain General Hospital should have been rebuilt in excess of 20 years ago. And now we are at a place where we have about 11 wards crammed into 3 wards. It's extremely congested. Staff as expected, as anywhere. When you are crammed into such facilities and expected to perform, you would be extremely demotivated.
The All Mansions of Rastafari and the Movement for Social Justice are calling for the government to expunge all minor marijuana offences, at least until marijuana decriminalisation legislation comes into effect. Sherilyn Lewis reports.
One representative of the MSJ is calling for government to ease the strain on persons who are charged for small amounts of marijuana and are before the courts. Chair of the Youth Arm, Angela Hart, made a statement at a press conference today.
We are making a public call to the government to declare a moratorium on all arrests for small amounts of marijuana. We believe that this would clear the backlog in the judicial system. We also believe that this would save the state millions in tax dollars instead of enforcing a law which, by and large, targets a crime without a victim.
Hart said to date the government has not given a firm statement with respect to the decriminalisation of marijuana.
How can the government spend millions in tax dollars for 2 months of public consultations, listening as marijuana advocates painstakingly describe the dangers of criminalisation, only for the government to boast that we would be enforcing the very laws that we want to repeal?
Additionally, one representative of the All Mansions of Rastafari said there has been insufficient information given on the scope of the proposed legislation.
Being one of the main stakeholders representing the Rastafari body, we still do not know what is the scope of the government's decriminalisation program. And at this point in time, up to now, we have not been called to discuss anything, so we don't know what's going on.
Legislation targeted at marijuana decriminalisation should be introduced in Parliament by mid-2019. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley made a statement earlier this year. His comments followed Attorney General Faris Al-Wari, who said legislation on the decriminalisation of marijuana will be laid in Parliament in the first half of 2019. Sherilyn Lewis, TTT News.
The Trinidad and Tobago Association for Best Village is expressing dissatisfaction with the fact that they are yet to receive monies to give to various cultural groups. President of the association and members of the groups assembled at the Brian Lara Promenade to voice their displeasure. More in this report.
They sang and voiced their grievances as they know best. President of the Best Village Association, Lyndon Maynard, is calling on the government to hasten to pay Best Village cultural groups
the issues that they have been having with the government and the program.
What are some of the issues?
Well, on an interview on Friday going there, after that interview, we realize now that the ministry is making a statement that they want to pay monies. And it is very strange that will come after an interview, because all the time we have been trying to get the monies for the groups.
Mr. Maynard said the monies received thus far isn't enough and the groups are in need of additional monies to cover their expenses.
The groups over the years have felt totally disrespected, totally. right? And because of that, the groups have been crying on the newly association. We came into the office just last year, November, and we are trying to see if we can get things off the ground. We are trying to see if we can align with the government, right, to make this thing a better place.
A representative of one of the cultural groups also expressed his grievance.
A lot of items, a lot of categories was taken away. Like something that would have brought the villages, the young man who don't want to dance, who don't want to play a drum, they would have brought them out by VO, that's Village Olympics, where they would come out, they would run, they would do a lot of sports. That was taken away. Yeah, handicraft was also taken away. Traditions of carnival to teach the young people in our village our culture was taken away.
The Prime Minister's Best Village Trophy competition starts in January of each year and is a year-round program that provides an opportunity for communities to be more conscious of their culture and environment through folk traditions. Sherilyn Lewis, TTT News.
The Ministry of Community Development, Culture and the Arts said winners of the 2018 Best Village program should receive their outstanding prizes by April 5th. The assurance was given in a media release last Friday, where the ministry announced that the 2019 Prime Minister's Best Village Trophy competition will be a part of the cultural lineup for Carifesta 14. To this end, the Best Village 2019 program will focus on expanded tutoring within groups and will include one round of competition in the folk presentation and folk theatre categories following extended tutoring sessions within the communities as well as Junior Best Village. The finals of the Miss Laren Rivet as well as the overall winners of the district folk presentations and folk theatre categories will be presented in the Best Village Folk Arts Festival at Carifesta 14, which takes place from August 16th to the 24th. More to come, stay with us.
To Sunday, get lost in the world of award-winning films. Green Days by the River, April 21st at 3 p.m. Be viewing TTT to experience the breathtaking film adaptation of Michael Anthony's beloved novel. Voted People's Choice for Best Narrative Feature at the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival. Recipient of the Carmichael Award for Exceptional Storytelling at the Barbados Independent Film Festival. Green Days by the River proves that locally produced films will captivate you and transport you to other worlds. A tale of love, loss, and intrigue. Green Days by the River premieres April 21st only on TTT.
Welcome back to Sport Now. For the first time in 5 years, Mary Boys Cricket Club played a home game when they hosted defending league champions Aliscon Comets. This as they return to action on the recently reopened Diego Martin Sport Complex, aka the Gabba, their fortress. Ken Fuentes has more.
The facility was scheduled for upgrade in 2007, with work only recently completed on it. For Mary Boys, they are just happy to be back on home turf.
We are extremely grateful for this facility. It is extremely world class. It's a nice facility. It's comfortable for the players. Some minor bugs and stuff like that, but I think going forward they will get worked out. It's very comforting to know that after so many years without a home venue, we finally have a venue that we could be proud to call home.
Despite returning to their home after such a long time, Edward says the team is still in need of assistance.
We're still without a main sponsor, right? Most of what's going on here now in terms of funds are personal funds from players, coaches, even some of the players chipping in to make sure we do things on a daily basis. Most of the work is done by local residents to assist with getting the pitches ready and stuff like that. We still on the market for our main sponsor, so anybody out there willing to assist the club, come on board. We're still open to suggestions and help from the corporate community.
Commenting on the league itself, the Mary Boys manager says it does still play a major role in the development of local and regional cricket.
It's necessary for the development of the national team and by extension the West Indies team. And my personal view is that this is the third highest level of cricket, and I would love to see a better pay package for the clubs in terms of the prize monies on offered, because the type of money that clubs put out on club cricket is a lot of money, and what we will win, even if we win all the competitions on offer, we still wouldn't make back half of what the club is putting out.
Kent Fuentes, TTT Sports.
Akil Duke was crowned champion of the Tranquility Men's Tennis Tournament with a come-from-behind 3-set victory over Richard Chung. Duke won the match 4-6, 6-4, 6-3. Again, here's Kent Fuentes.
It was the veteran Chung against one of the top players in the local scene in Duke, with Chung winning the point here before Duke hit long to add to his opponent's points. Chung then had his own unforced errors, while Duke came back strong with a winner of his own. Duke grew in confidence as the game went along, but Chung was far from done. The day, however, belonged to Duke, as he won in 3 sets to be crowned the local king of clay at Tranquility, 4-6, 6-4, 6-3 the final score. Kent Fuentes, TTT Sports.
Lewis Hamilton inherited victory in the Bahrain Grand Prix after an engine problem hit runaway leader Charles Leclerc's Ferrari late in the race. Leclerc had dominated after retaking the lead following a poor start and was on course for a maiden victory when his hybrid system failed. Hamilton closed an 8-second deficit within 3 laps and swept by for his first win of 2019 with 9 laps to go. Leclerc would have slipped down to 4th behind Hamilton's teammate Valtteri Bottas and Red Bull's Max Verstappen, but was saved by a late race safety car. Roger Federer captured his 4th Miami Open title with an emphatic 6-1, 6-4 win over defending champion John Isner. The 37-year-old world number 5 broke in the opening game and took the first set in 24 minutes. In his 50th Masters final, the Swiss 4th seed produced some ground strokes and wrapped up the match in an hour and 3 minutes. It is his 28th Masters title and the 101 overall for a player who has won 20 Grand Slam single titles. More to come, stay with us.
Hate rats.
Your child's safety is top priority.
Hi, Miss Silly. Thanks a mille. I'll be back by 10. Bye, T.
Be very cautious when choosing a caregiver. Don't let this be your horror story.
A message from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
In the weather forecast, generally sunny and at times breezy with the chance of a brief shower in a few areas. Mostly fair night. Cloudy patches will at times interrupt some sunshine, giving a light or moderate shower in varying areas. Showers in a few areas during the evening and night. Seas are moderate with waves up to 2 meters in open waters and less than 1 meter in sheltered areas. Should there be an exam for 11 and 12-year-olds with the intensity of the secondary entrance assessment exam? This was one of the questions raised recently when University of the West Indies professor Jerome Delisle presented a lecture among the SCA believers, The Price We Must Pay. Karen Cozier-Phillip has more.
According to UWI St. Augustine professor Jerome Delisle, there's been no change in the primary school leaving exam, dating back from the college exhibition to 11 plus to the SCA. The exam serves the same purpose. He said the question remains whether there should be an exam so early and whether the exam gives the desired results.
I don't know if you want to exam at 10, 11, where student feels like that. I have no problem with the 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 in medical school there. They could feel all they want. But at 9 or 10, I am not sure.
Professor Delisle said he's not in favor of having the exam removed.
I ask people not to tell people that I want the common entrance or the 11 plus or the SCA removed. I don't want it removed because it's very deep inside us. What we can investigate is why we have those beliefs.
The professor's research shows that emotions among students preparing for SCA were extremely high, displayed through sketches and writings. He said one student depicted that she was drowning in the sea with a play on the SCA acronym. He said there's no doubt SCA is very stressful, as there's pressure to succeed from both teachers and parents.
There's a practice that has developed in which students do practice tests all the time. And they get a score. And they say, well, hopefully you will improve that score. So the child begins saying, well, there are 84, or I got 83, or 82 yesterday, and hopefully it will be better. So that's one of the issues as well.
Just over 18,000 Standard 5 students will sit the secondary entrance examination on Thursday, April 4th, a day before going off on their Easter break. Karen Kozier-Phillip, TTT News.
Local businesses will continue to benefit from the duty-free export of goods and the preferential treatment of services exports to the United Kingdom. This from Minister of Trade and Industry Paula Gopi-Skoon as she announced the country's intention to sign to the Economic Partnership Agreement between CARIFORUM and the United Kingdom. The CARIFORUM UK EPA provides continued access to the UK market when the UK exits the European Union. During 2018, for the period January to October, Trinidad and Tobago recorded $560 million in exports to the United Kingdom. The country's exports to the UK include methanol, liquefied natural gas, aromatic bitters, articles of iron and steel, rum, beer, cereals, curry and shandy. More news to come. Stay with us.
Already? Oh gosh, we'll watch something else.
Yes, like football.
Fellow Trinidadians and Tobagonians, the latest Met Office report shows that this dry season is going to be hotter than normal. And as a result, a lot of our surface level water is going to be lost to higher than usual levels of evaporation. In response to this situation, WASA has put measures in place to increase the water supply and, of course, reduce the number of leaks that are abundant throughout this country. We are asking for your help with some of the things that you can do to help conserve water at your home. Turn off the tap while brushing your teeth. Use a watering can or bucket to do your gardening. Fix leaky pipes around the house. Time your showers so you use less water. Instead of washing one or two items, wash only full loads. If we all get involved, we can together conserve up to 1 million gallons of water a day. And of course, please take care of your health during this dry season. Stay hydrated, drink lots of fluids. I believe we can do this together. Remember, every drop counts.
Every drop counts. Every drop counts.
Remember, every drop counts. A message from the Ministry of Public Utilities.
Welcome back. President of the Cerebral Palsy Society of Trinidad and Tobago, Philip Metivier, said we still have a long way to go in accepting persons living with the condition without discrimination. Mr. Metivier spoke at a cerebral palsy health fair at the National Enrichment Center in Castlefield, Chaguanas.
I think they have a long way to go because, I as a parent of a child with cerebral palsy have knocked on a lot of doors and the doors have been open. The grants are very slow in coming when you go to the social welfare offices. There's problems there. So I think the Ministry of Social Development I mean, I want to give them a little kudos. They are working, trying to do better for us.
However, he said the society still has come a long way and has made many significant strides.
Yes, I'm pleased. Right now, we are well recognized in this country. The Minister of Social Development recognizes us. The people on the street recognizes us. So we are pretty well established. We had a cricket fundraiser just some months back, and it was well attended.
With cerebral palsy to benefit from free medical screenings from doctors, dentists and therapists. As International Women's Month comes to a close, obstetrician and gynecologist Dr. Prakash Prasad of the Sanjeevani Women's Hospital talked to TTT News about women's health care in Trinidad and Tobago. More in this report compiled by Sashal Ramharak.
Obstetrician and gynecologist Dr. Prakash Prasad, director of the Sanjeevani Women's Hospital in St. Augustine, after practicing abroad and in the public healthcare system for many years, tells us he was not pleased with the level of women's health care.
I think that we all look at women's health care as something that we should do very well, but I don't think we do it very well. And I think the reason for that is that our private hospitals in particular are all general hospitals, and they have to do a little bit of everything. And because of that, they don't do anything particularly well. So we felt as people who provide healthcare for women that we needed something specialized for what we want to do and the way we want to do it.
Dr. Prakash Prasad has realized his dream and acted on his strong belief that women need special care as the health issues of women are varied. So having all issues dealt with under one roof may certainly be a relief for many women.
I think the biggest thing is that women's healthcare in general is sort of done in a very piecemeal way. So if you're a woman in particular and you had to do something, you had to go to 10 different places to do it. So the first one was bringing all the services under one roof so that you can actually come to one place and get everything done for women's healthcare.
Dr. Prasad emphasized the need for sensitivity and inclusion when dealing with women's health.
When you look after women, and particularly pregnant women, you're looking after a family. You're looking after a husband, sometimes other children, and of course you're looking after Tanti and Nanny and everybody else. And they all want to be part of it. And that's difficult to do in a general hospital. And I think when you can do everything under one roof and you can actually cater for one group of people, then it makes it very easy and very...
Improving women's health has become central to the global health and human rights agenda, reflecting the crucial role women play in supporting their families' social, physical and economic well-being. Karen Kozier-Phillip, TTT News.
Here's a recap of tonight's headlines. Police Commissioner tells parents take charge of their children as a 14-year-old is arrested for gun possession. MSJ Youth and Rastafari Movement call on government to discontinue arrests for small amounts of marijuana possession. Best Village Association pleads for outstanding monies for their cultural groups. And in sport, Akil Duke wins Tranquility Open Tennis Tournament. That's how we end our TTT News Report. On behalf of all of us here, have a good night. We leave you with the sounds of Desperado's Steel Band from their performance at last night's live music district on Arapita Avenue.